Everybody, we are back. It is Taped Online's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasups.com. Discount code TDL for 35% off. All right, Matt. So we are doing back to rookies, not really more free agents. We're free agency done. It probably could be drafts from here on out, unless the Raiders sign like somebody important. I don't know. It better be.
I feel like the only guy there, like even that's even one available and they're kind of connected to that's like notable, maybe Tre'Davious White, which I mean had a couple injuries the last few years. I'm not sure how thrilled I am about that, but if it is if he is willing to do a cheap contract, it's kind of a why not a little bit. But yeah, it seems like free agency is pretty much done. It was kind of done after Monday, after day one.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders re-signed so many guys. I think that's a big factor in all of it. Is they re-signed a bunch of guys. I mean, they re-signed Palomar, so it kind of answers a little bit of the safety position. Andre James they re-signed, Butler, Jenkins. They brought the defensive line back, so they re-signed so many guys. I mean, they added like 4 outside of it, basically, with Bryant, Madison, Christian Wilkins, and Minshew. Yeah, so 4 guys outside of the team. So they obviously really like the football team. But free agency.
I don't even think. I guess James. They didn't even I feel like they didn't even re-sign that many guys. Like they haven't made that many moves in the last few weeks. Like they re-signed. I guess Abdullah is in there too, but yeah. So a handful of guys, but I feel like it's not even that many that they brought back. But we'll see.
We'll see, man. We'll see. So a couple things we get into before we get into the film. I'm doing Jordan Travis today, and Matt's doing Dominic Puni, who actually was part of my O-line fit breakdown on Friday. So it was a good pick by Matt there. So first, though, talk about a couple just GM and AP comments because we're at the they got the Raiders, the owners meetings happening right now in my town. It's probably right down the street. AP's probably down the street, dog, at the little facility at Tempe. Maybe I go say hi or something. I don't know, but
it was in Orlando.
Oh, it is in Orlando this year. Oh, usually
yeah. I think they go back and forth between Orlando and Arizona.
Okay, all right. I was wrong there, but AP has some interesting comments today about Aiden O'Connell that has Raiders fans on Twitter coping under the comments. He was talking about quarterback. Steve Weiss asked him about quarterback. He said that we only have 2 quarterbacks in the room, so we definitely have to get another one. He also said he trusts Tom Telesco because Tom Telesco has the Bill Polian background, so he has Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, and becomes a GM with the Chargers and has Phillip Rivers and drafts Justin Herbert. So he does have a pretty good track record if you just go with it from the scouting department. Andrew Luck is not that hard. Come on. Fine. You could have drafted RG3 first, I guess. You could have. So, but the most interesting comments, part of that was his comments on Aiden O'Connell. So I'm going to read these. All right, man. So at the end of the day, listen, Aiden O'Connell played his ass off. He did a hell of a job for us. You're talking about a kid that has a mental toughness to play in the National Football League. Whatever happens and whatever you do, it has to go through Aiden O'Connell. Being honest with you, because he's earned that right. Your thoughts?
It's surprising. I don't obviously we don't expect AP to just come out and be like, yeah, Aiden O'Connell sucks. But I feel like for most of the offseason, like most of the beginning of or pretty much since the regular season end, I should say, like they've kind of been like, yeah, like we're looking to upgrade a quarterback, like we're looking to bring in some more competition. Like this is, and then now that we're sitting here in the end of March, and again free agency has passed by. We've heard about that, how it's looking like it's tougher and tougher to be able to trade up and get one of those top 3 quarterbacks. So part of me is kind of thinking like, is this him backpedaling a little bit, thinking like, we might strike out in the quarterback market this offseason just with how everything's unfolded, and now I've got to go turn around and give the guy a vote of confidence. But it is interesting that he picked O'Connell over a guy like Minshew, who they just gave 25 mil, 15 mil guaranteed to. So that's, I think, the kind of the more eye-opening part is it feels like, if we would have thought that Minshew would have walked into training camp as a starter, actually might be the opposite where O'Connell's still a starter and Minshew's the backup. So that's I think the most revealing part to me. But he also said in there, as you said, like we only got 2 and we got to add somebody else. So it's an interesting comment on a couple different angles. From one, both who's going to be the starter at big training camp, and I think it kind of shows too like how the offseason is unfolded in their eyes at that position.
Yeah, it does. I think it's a little bit of. I mean, he said some nice things about him at the combine, but it wasn't this like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was like a boat of confidence. You know, and AP hasn't really been, you know, we say it's lying season. I know a lot of people say that, but I mean, he hasn't really been lying to us at all. Let's keep it real. I mean, I guess you say about Josh Jacobs, he lied a little bit, but we know he might have wanted Josh Jacobs back. Josh obviously felt some type of way about how that went. That's why he's blocking everybody on Twitter and he's upset about it, right? So obviously he felt some type of way about AP telling him that and then that not happening. But I mean, he hasn't really been, he's been a pretty upfront, straight guy. I mean, and not really sugarcoating a lot of things. So just to kind of say this, it basically is do they draft somebody? Aiden O'Connell's probably QB1 until either the draft guy takes him out or Gardner Minshew takes him out, which I don't bet a lot of money that Minshew takes him out. I wouldn't bet on that. I know some Raiders fans believe that, but just watching the film and stuff, I just wouldn't bet on it. And I don't think AP would have the locker room very excited for the season if they did that. So it would be interesting to see how this goes. But Tom Telesco did say this too. I just kind of segue into we're talking about with we actually found out the running scheme. We were confused this last episode, me and Matt together, and now we figured it out. He did say we brought in Minshew as competition for Aiden O'Connell, and I thought that was a very interesting for. So like it was like Aiden O'Connell was the starter, and we're bringing in him for competition. So. Yeah, it was, their tune is changing a little bit. Let's keep it real. It's changing.
It's not the we're going to be aggressive, go out and get and do all this stuff to go get him. It's more of like, the guy that we have, he's not bad.
Hey guys, we beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, with him not completing a pass outside of the first quarter.
Hey, do you see this D line? That's basically true. That's basically what we're doing right now. Like, hey, man, we got this D line.
Yeah.
AP
John Jenkins back. John Jenkins scored a touchdown last year.
Yeah. John Jenkins. Jack Jones scored 2 touchdowns.
There you go.
Hey,
there's your offense.
He scored how many? They scored like 5 defensive touchdowns with AP or something like that. I don't know, something crazy.
That's something crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it was just that's the type of thing that's kind of building with that, and that's a good point. It's the tune is changing. The tune is changing. Yeah. Also, in the Telesco interview, he talked about outside zone and how they're going to be running a zone scheme, and that Madison has ran that 2 years ago, which I thought was another interesting tidbit. He said the 2 years before last season. So like, he knows he didn't run it this year. So.
Well, he ran it.
Just not very well. So like he knows that. So like, it also was interesting. Said he was going to run 4 running backs. They could try to share carries with 4 running backs. That was a little interesting too. So I know you have a little tidbit from a Vikings blogger about Madison in zone.
Yeah. So like, I mean, kind of like what we were telling me. I asked him point blank, because I think that's one of the things that's part of the discourse surrounding Madison right now, at least on Twitter, is like, what type of system is he? What type of runner is he? And all that stuff. And so I straight up asked, like, is he a zone back in your mind? Like, what is your take on that argument? And he pretty much said what you had talked about before, and what we had shown we had seen on the film. Like Madison, he's more of a between the tackles type, and then he can do inside zone. He can execute inside zone well, but he's not exactly a guy that you really want doing a whole lot of outside zone runs. So that's kind of where, again, it gets a little bit more interesting, because I feel like you can say a lot of the same things as Zamir White. And I feel like the more we find out, and again, that's not even coming from me, that's not coming from Marcus, that's coming from someone who's watched Madison his entire career, saying that. And I feel like the more information we find, it's kind of makes it a little bit more head scratching, because it seems more and more like those two guys, like him and Zamir White, are a little bit more similar than we maybe realize. So yeah, it's an interesting pairing right now, because again, I don't think they have a guy except for maybe Amir Abdullah. It's probably their best outside zone back if that's what they want to do. Because so yeah, it's still an interesting fit to me, especially hearing that again from someone else who's paid attention to Madison for the last 5 years. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And then even going to look at Zamir White's carries last year, if you look just from the last 4 games, so I didn't even try to look at the carries from earlier in the year, just the last 4 games, he was 38 in gap and 41 in zone. So that means that he is pretty much even there, but he's more of he is a power back. I mean, that's what he's naturally at. So it's going to be, I don't know. We got to figure out what they're doing here in the run game. But if you're gonna run zone, I mean, I figured Josh Jacobs is your guy. Like I figure that's the type of guy that you would try to bring back. But maybe Josh Jacobs just outpriced himself. They probably couldn't do that whatever the Packers gave him. I mean, it's really just 14 million guaranteed, and then kind of year to year after that. But I bet the Raiders weren't willing to. I mean, they didn't franchise tag him, that would have been the franchise tag. So. Yeah. Since they didn't do that, they weren't looking to really keep him, and they want to do a running back by committee. But if you have you're running zone and you have a bunch of power backs, that's just not gonna work, So yeah, it's interesting that way, And Telesco, he's a scout, man. He's been a scout since like 1998. So you figure and maybe that's why you could tell he's a little arrogant. So you can kind of tell that he feels he thinks he can scout, like he thinks he's the monster. And sometimes those things don't always fit, but it is what it is, bro. I don't know what to say to that, to be honest.
Yeah, interesting pairing. And I mean, maybe it means that they're not done at running back, even though we might think they will be. But you also got to look at it as Madison, I believe, is on a 1-year deal. Abdullah is on a 1-year deal, and if he's not, he's already 30, I believe, and maybe he turned 31, but getting up there in age regardless. So maybe they're not quite so done. And a guy like, was it Tyrone Tracy that we were looking at from Purdue, who was really good at running outside zones? Maybe that's a guy that they end up taking on day 3 that might surprise us a little bit and might not be done at that position either.
Yeah, because even in college football, there's just not that many zone teams in college football at this point. I mean, a lot of them are power teams. Like even Washington, I was watching Washington today. I mean, I don't know who the Oregon State running back is, but he ain't. They run zone, but even Washington, they run power. Like it's not that many teams that do it. So yeah, we'll see what they do. It's nothing that we can really gripe about. We might have to go sign Cam Akers or something. I don't know. Maybe, bro. All right. So draft prospects we're doing today. So I'm doing Jordan Travis. That was been requested. So I did it. And you guys get to see it. Yeah. So I mean, Travis is a project. Let's just say that he's a project. And he's like 23, probably. I'm sure he's
say the old 6-year senior project.
Yeah, he's just a project, man, and he's coming off an injury. I just don't know where he's going to go in the draft. I know a lot of fans are saying 3rd and 4th, and people are telling me some guy compared him to Josh Allen. Then he said he was joking. I don't think he was, but he saw the pushback a little bit. Then he said it was just a joke. I don't think you were, but that's cool. We appreciate you if you're a fan of the show. But I mean, it's getting crazy with him a little bit. I see people, fighting over him. There's just all these fights, and I just think that he's not a guy that is somebody that you want to take in the 3rd and 4th round. I think it's somebody you want to take some better players. And if he's there in the 6th or the 7th, then you could probably do that. And, bring in that guy to be a body in the quarterback and see if he can work it out and see if he can make the team. But yeah, it's just his film is just all over the place. That's really what it is. It's just all over the place. And the big thing and why the buzz is building because he had a top 30 visit with the Raiders. But I told people that, on the show on Friday, the top 30 visits is just all about checking out if they're injured or not, and how injured you are for the most part. And he has those medical issues. So they're probably seeing how injured he is. But, like if it's late day 3, then this wouldn't bother me as much. But if we're at like 3rd round, I mean, you can't go Spencer Rattler or like Joe Milton. That's all I would be. That's all.
Yeah. No, I've gotten a bunch of questions about Travis too. And every single time I'm kind of like, I get the question of like in my head pops up in my head of like why. Like I kind of get the little bit of the infatuation. I think it's a little bit stemmed from seeing how Florida State's offense was without him last year, where they like literally just could not move the ball. But like I remember even when I was watching like Johnny Wilson over the summer, like people were kind of giving some Jordan Travis and I didn't really get it. I didn't really see it. I didn't see a guy with a big arm or a guy that was terribly accurate either. He could run, but again, how much does that leg injury affect him? Because did he just break it? I don't quite remember what the extent of it is, what the extent of his injury. I don't know if he tore ligaments with it too. I know he messed it up pretty bad, but yeah. And I mean and to your point, like that throws another wrinkle in his evaluation of like, we don't know what he's going to be when he comes back too. So which will cause his draft stock to slide, also part of why the top 30 visit makes sense. So you can find that kind of stuff out.
Get his medicals, I mean, because there's the combine medicals and then there's your medicals. So like you bring him in, you do your medicals and check him out that way. So that's part of the reason that they did a top 30 visit, but we'll check him out, see what he's got. And then you're doing Dominic Puni, correct?
Yes. Yep. Puny played Puny played Kansas last year. It was I believe a D2, D3 transfer. A couple years before that, played exclusively at left tackle. At least last year, I can't remember about the year before, but he blocks more like a guard. Like, and you guys will see it a little bit. Like a lot of his pass sets, he likes using jump sets. I don't even know if I saw him, drop back and vertical set once in the couple of games I watched him. Part of that has to do with the offense at Kansas. They run a lot of RPOs and a lot of quick game and that kind of stuff. But like, even I was reading Brandon Thorne, our guy at Bleacher Reports, the O-line guru, his scouting report on him, and he was talking about how he kind of has not necessarily short arms, but below average. I think he's like 33 inches and some change. 33 is usually the cutoff for most teams, and like that kind of that impacts him when the quarterbacks like get in those deep drops and when they're trying to push the ball down the field. Like he struggles with the high side rushes and that kind of stuff. And that was something I saw on film. But he's a guy who moves pretty well for his size. I think he's a pretty good athlete and has a nice finishing mentality, pretty strong dude. So I think a guy that if you put him on the inside, he could be a guy that you can plug in right away and start at right guard. He had some nice blocks too. And he got a little experience pulling too, which the Raiders do kind of surprise us and end up running a little bit more of those gap and power schemes. Would be big for him at guard too. So definitely an interesting guy. I mean, mainly just because of what I just talked about. Moves well and has some power to him. So
yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. All right, let's get into it, man. So I'll start off with Jordan Travis. All right, so we're gonna start off with his running ability first. I mean, this is honestly the best thing he does is run the football. So we can start off with his running ability here. So kind of see a little bit of a quarterback draw here. Does a good job of, even with he got this free rusher, it's a good block by that running back though. Then you see him able to make a guy miss there and get some yards. That's a tight end too, right there. Tight end, it's a good block. See him able to make a guy miss. It's a terrible tackle by 7. I don't know what he's doing. But he makes the guy miss and he gets some extra yards there. All right, so next one here, another one, getting an little RPO here, zone read. I mean, you kind of see that how the way Duke is playing this, that they're doing a little stunt here, kind of making the scrape, right? Like a scraping over them, they call this, but they're doing it as defensive lineman. I think it's interesting. Yeah. But when you get a defensive lineman in space for Jordan Travis, and it could be a good thing. And then he's able to make some guys miss, run. Does a good job of sliding there. This is what we want Jake Daniels to do. This is right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna venture and guess that Mike Elko thought this was gonna be a pass because I don't know if you want 300-pound Dwayne Carter in space against Jordan Travis.
But this he does this really well. He can run the football really well. He does. Definitely what they can call a dual threat. Now, I think they didn't use his legs enough, to be honest. I feel like they should have used it more often. So you see here, another one. This is a little bit more of a QB counter kind of look a little bit, but still kind of a zone read, maybe like a split zone read, actually. You got to get this guy coming around here, but he does a good job of seeing that and getting to the outside. And you see here, he's able to make some guys miss. You got it bounce.
I like his vision for a quarterback. That's pretty good. Impressive to follow the block there and then cut it up right here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he can run the football. All right, here we go in the red zone again. You see him just the patience he has. Yeah, he's a great runner of the football. Gets him right in the end zone. So he lets the blocks develop. See it right here. More time lets the blocks develop. And he's following the running back, that tight end, or whoever that is, right there, and cuts it up and gets right in the end zone. Touchdown.
Damn.
So yeah. So here's another one. This one is crazy. He ends up getting like 8 yards in this one, but it's just ridiculously crazy on this throw. This kind of just shows his whole athletic running ability on this one. So Reed, right? I think it's RPO. I think he's looking at pass on this one on this RPO. Yeah. You see number 20 come out here, right? 1-on-1. Nope. Okay, so he makes that guy miss. Comes back this way, bounces off 2 guys, and it almost scores.
20 is James Williams too. That's their safety linebacker hybrid type. Good player.
Miami's defense is legit, bro.
Yeah, they got some dudes this year.
Yeah. They get a lot of pressure, good blitz schemes. But you see here just bouncing off people like this. So he's just a great runner of the football. Definitely his strong suit is that. All right, so let's get into the passing. We're going to start positive here. We're going to start positive, okay? We're going to do some positivity first. So we get a little play action. I think he has a pretty big arm, to be honest. I think it's just controlling it. You kind of see his feet are constantly moving. He's just not settled in the pocket for me. He's just constantly just antsy. And then he doesn't just step into his throws. And this is all going to come up later, guys. So I just wanted to kind of highlight this. But this is a good throw right here. Anticipation right there to Johnny Wilson. I said Michael Wilson. Johnny Wilson. Right. You kind of see it just not always set, and then he doesn't step into the throw. But this one's on the money, so it works. Right there. All right. So next one. This is one of his best throws on film too. He throws a pretty good fade. Like as long as it's like in the 10 yards, we get a good fade here. So like this is a good back shoulder throw to Trey Benson. It's a great catch by Trey Benson too. All right, I told you that Trey Benson isn't a good catcher at the combine, but then I watched more film and I was wrong, man. Because that's a great catch. That's a great throw too, back shoulder. Right.
Nice ball.
Nice ball, back shoulder. Great catch. And right, yeah. So I mean, some of these fade routes, some of these kind of looks right here, does a pretty good job there. It's a good throw. All right, here we go. This is another good one. This is his best throw on film right here. Yeah, right there. Okay. It's a great catch by Keon Coleman, too. So he's basically just good. What we getting here? So it looks like they're playing kind of a quarters look. They're double teaming Keon Coleman too, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is late in the game, so he's trying to make a play here. But I mean, this is an even better catch by Keon Coleman. He caught them with one hand.
Damn.
So you'll see it from the backside here, right? And it's just right on the money. Great throw. And he catches that ball with one hand.
Ooh, okay.
Coleman's a beast too, man. He's a monster.
I say that's why that guy might be a first-round pick.
Yeah. Right there. But I mean, it's a good throw, right? To the safeties, good anticipation there. So right there. And then one thing he does really well, like I said, he throws a great fade route, but this is another one-handed catch by Keon Coleman. One hand. But this is a good ball. Yeah. Like I say, he does throw a pretty good fade route. But you see the things with the fade routes is, which I'll show. I mean, you're gonna see it later. Is that his feet are usually set when he does it from a fade route. Like this is the best motion you'll ever see from him. And he throws an accurate ball. But I don't know. Whatever other throw he doesn't do this, and I don't know if he's trying to put his whole all into a throw. And maybe that's what it is, but I'm doing a lot of foreshadowing here, guys. So, and then outside the pocket, he's pretty good outside the pocket. When he gets out of there, he probably didn't have to leave. I mean, but the guy's a little bit, he just slid in here, but did a good job of making that play right there. And then here's another one here. This one, avoids it. Then you got Keon Coleman there. It's a pretty good throw. I mean, it looks better because that guy's turned around, but Keon Coleman's pretty wide open here. So, I mean, this type of plays you can make on the run.
Okay. So you probably should have thrown that ball a little earlier, but
yeah,
take completions.
Yeah, you're right. So I think he's trying to throw deep to this guy, and then he saw Keon.
Oh yeah, gotcha. To Will,
you see him pointing. He points here. He points to Wilson, and then he sees Keon, and he throws it. Good throw though. All right, so let's get into the issues or the weaknesses, as we'll say. So I mean, the biggest weakness with his accuracy. He just is not an accurate quarterback. Like it is, I talk about Michael Penix's accuracy. That this is not. It's just not gonna work. And you're gonna see here is just these throwing motions he does. All right, like he does like this leg kick thing. I don't know what that is. I don't know where quarterback coach is teaching him this. And I don't know why they didn't fix this at Florida State. I never understand that. But he does like this kick thing, and you see it, and he just misses a wide open guy here. And these guys are tall. Okay, that's what I want to point out. This is one. I don't know how tall Keon Coleman, but Johnny Wilson's 6'7". Okay, so these are some tall guys. I mean, this is the right read. He just throws too high. Maybe that guy could have caught it if he uses 2 hands, but you're gonna watch from the back here. Like it's just this weird throwing motion, right? And then he lifts his leg and then he kicks it forward.
Yeah. I wonder if this might sound weird if he has like a baseball background, because he kind of throws it and I noticed this on one of the first ones you were pointing out too, when we're talking about his base. He kind of throws like you would hit a baseball, like with a wide stance already, and that wind up, the picking the front foot up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder if that has anything to do with it, but like you said, you'd think they'd work that out of him.
Yeah, you would think. But I guess if you keep waiting for your 12-0, I guess you don't care. Yeah. So, like this one here, he kind of does the same thing, does the same leg kick, and this is open, but he throws it over here. He just misses wildly. It's almost picked off. And this is why. This is what I talk about Jordan Travis and big issues. Is this? I mean, that's wide open. This guy's going there. I was thinking maybe he thought he was gonna go in here, but he misses over here. So yeah. I don't want to say that, but you see, it's a leg kick again. Like the legs up, and then it kicks forward. Like I don't know where he's getting that from.
Yeah.
Like, how long is it take to fix that habit? You know what I mean? Like that's good. That's a habit at this point. And here's another one. He's getting outside the pocket, and then he just kind of. And I mean, this is a big play. If he throws a good ball to Johnny Wilson, he's scoring because this is the angle this guy's running at. Right.
Oh, I think this is against Wiggins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just threw that ball out of bounds. And Johnny Wilson's gets physical, beats Wiggins there, and he throws it to Dabo Sweeney. So, I guess I don't know. This is that throw sometimes. Yeah, because I mean he's just wide open. It's a huge play. It's a huge play, huge design. Because you talk about like Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, man. You figure I think sometimes these guys would be higher draft picks if they got some better throws from that. And it's just not long passes, okay, guys. It's just not passes down the field. It's also short passes. Like this one, he's gonna do the same leg kick thing, and he just almost throws another pick. And maybe it's the pressure this time. But I mean, it should be an easy throw, even under pressure. You should be able to just make this throw right to Keon Coleman. He's open, nobody's around him. He should be able to run through some yak if you stay calm in the pocket. But he just air mills it. And he can't do the leg kick this time because of the pressure, but he's trying to leg kick, and then it just completely misses on a pretty routine throw. And then when you talk about getting deep, it's also about Keon Coleman here. I mean, this is a great route by Coleman. Coleman sets this guy's up. He right there on the over route, he's wide open, and then the ball lands over here. So you get action there. It's a great route by Coleman. Gets this guy turned around. I mean, if he puts it right on him, like he should have, it would have been a good throw. There is some pressure coming on this one, but I still feel like you got to make this throw, even with this pressure coming. Yeah, I don't know what happened on that one. All right, and even the deep ball is I mean, there really is no true deep passes. I mean, let's talk about these fades that he throws, but like these type of deep passes here, like you got it's not Coleman, but
that's Coleman.
It is Coleman. Yeah, so Coleman wins off the line here. Gets it, so he sets some guy up on that's a nice route, right? And he is open.
Yeah,
and Travis throws it up here. So that's the thing is he's a project as a passer. He's a project as a passer. He is just raw, right? And you even see it here. Just sometimes he doesn't read the field the best either. So you see it on this one, right? He wants to go here. You'll see it on the backside. He wants to go here. This is his first look. But instead of coming back over here, he comes back to this side, and then you probably want to go to the flat if you're going to go to this side. But then he's going to force it here to this guy on this Hank route, the Hank look that they're running. I mean, it's a pick six. He only threw 2 interceptions. I'll give him that. Be fair. He is very game managery too. I'll say that.
He's not going to force it.
Yeah, not most of the time. He's not going to force passes like this. But I'm not sure what happened on this one, but it ends up being a pick six. And then here's another one. There's Keon. He's kind of forces one to Keon Coleman. But as you could look, you see this guy's open, and he's just throwing to Keon Coleman regardless, and doesn't even make a good throw there. There you go. Probably could have hit him right here, but I mean, Keon Coleman is a big dude, but gotta have a better throw. So, we'll see if he does the little kick thing. He tried to. He doesn't make the best throw in the world. So yeah, that's basically it, man. He's a project, and I mean that's the way you have to look at it. You're going to be trying to build a quarterback. I mean, because you have to fix that. I don't know how you fix that leg kick thing. Is that going to change? Is that something that you could work out? Is he working on that leg kick? I don't know. He's probably hurt, so he's not even working on it. I don't know. I don't even know where that. And you're right. I mean, it might have a baseball background.
So I looked it up. He it didn't say that it didn't specify in his bio if he played baseball or anything in high school, but his brother played baseball at Florida State, and his brother's in the Blue Jays system right now. So I got to imagine he probably played some baseball too. But like even like when you were showing like when he was missing on a lot of the throws, like he was kind of like tapping his front foot and like creeping forward. I'm like, that's a lot of like I recognize that, like being someone who grew up playing baseball, like that's what I've seen a lot of people do. Like when you get like a changeup, right? Like when you're hesitant a little bit. Yeah, maybe thinking. So yeah, it feels like that's just kind of part of his nature. I mean, again, you'd hope that in 6 years in college, 1 year at Louisville, and 5 more at Florida State, they would have fixed that for him by now. And that's where I get a little weary. These 6-year seniors that have technical issues, especially the ones that come from big programs like that. But yeah, like you said, he's a runner. He was damn impressive. He kind of. Part of me was thinking maybe he's the one who can run the outside zone schemes, because those are good. Those were some nice runs for sure.
Yeah, he can run the football, man. That's where he's the most effective. And even with like I say, those are good fade route and stuff like that. It's just the consistency with passing, and you can even see his passing numbers. I mean, with how much of a game manager he was, and not really testing a lot of crazy stuff, to have a 63% completion percentage kind of showed how he is as a passer, just from a an accuracy standpoint. So it's a lot of things that he has to work on. I mean, the throwing motion and that whole aspect of mechanics is the biggest issue, and he'd have to get way better at that. That's why I would say if you are going to take him, it has to be like a flyer, like in the 6th or the 7th or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, just with the injury history alone, or the injury, I should say, alone, like probably would stay away from him. And again, Raiders brought him in for top 30 or whatever, so maybe they got a little bit more clarity. But yeah, I'm on board with you. I don't think I'd spend much more than a late day 3, that 6th, 7th round range on him right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, dude. Let's get into some Dominic Puni.
All right, you got me up there.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right. So first of all, apologies for some of the video quality on here. A few of these reps got a little jumpy. My computer is struggling to make it through free agency right now, so bear with me a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to start with a few reps in pass pro and kind of show what I was talking about in the intro of like where he kind of pass blocks like a guard already. Like I said, you're going to see on this one, again, a little jumpy, so not the best clip. But like this is what he likes to do, a lot of these jump sets and be aggressive, which you can get away with a little bit more, or works better a little bit when you're on the inside in the guard and you don't have to worry about getting beat on the high side of the rush as much. Like you can see it a little bit, like he wants to go out and get him and get his hands on guys. And 2, like see a little bit of the athleticism to stay in front. Now, one thing I did want to point out is he does play pretty high on the passing downs. Like, I mean, you can just look at him compared to everyone else on the O-line, just in his stance. I mean, even look at our right tackle over here. His butt's probably about couple cheeks higher than everybody else's, and like you can see, like right now he's still pretty high, and he has this habit too of like you can see with his base like kind of cross over. Like I missed it just a second, but like you can see it a little bit. Like he'll get in this position a lot, which I think he needs to fix. But then again, being at guard where he doesn't have to worry about all this space out on the edge, maybe that's not as big of an issue. But some things to clean up in pass pro. But again, you know, with how physical and aggressive he wants to be as a pass blocker and get his eyes on, I think he'll translate well on the inside. Get a similar clip here. I think it might even be against the same guy, but you can see it again. Sorry for the video quality again, but not the greatest. But again, that's kind of where he wants to be. Get a little bit of the idea. He wants to get his hands on guys right away and be that aggressive jump setter. Same thing here. Again, going to kind of run through these a little quickly because not the best videos, but. And then on top of it too, one thing that kind of stood out from him that was a little bit unique for a tackle, and again, speaks to him being able to switch to guard, is he's pretty good at looking for work. Like you'll see there, like he kind of like, he eyes his man here at the edge. Once he sees that guy's just dropping in coverage, gets his eyes inside. I mean, again, see a little bit of the change of direction skills to go inside and help out his guard who gets beat across the guard's face, and he ends up still getting a piece of them. See a little bit better from here from the end zone view, but same thing. Like once he eyes his man is dropping or staying in coverage, get those eyes inside, and go get a piece. Go help out your teammate. I think this clip's gonna be the same one as before, a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know this one. Same thing. Engages there, and as soon as this guy drops, we're getting into Keith Randolph here. He's gonna be a pick and help him put that guy in the ground. Like that's one thing I like about him too, is like we'll see it on a few of his run blocks. Like he's a physical dude, likes to finish blocks. That's kind of what you want, especially from a guard. Boom. Go help that guy out. Moving on a little bit to the running game. One thing that he's pretty good at is he can get some displacement. It's going to be an RPO that they end up throwing. But from his perspective, obviously he's just run blocking. And I mean, we'll take run blocks where you get 3-4 yards of displacement and push a dude past the center. Like that'll work every single time. And again, you know, I talked about his pad level being a little bit of an issue in pass pro. But one thing that he's really good at, and I think this clip, the damn goalpost is in the way a little bit. But like you can see, and we'll look at it on a few of the other clips, like he keeps his hands low. Like you can see a little bit here, like his hands are inside or low, and that's going to help him stand up this defensive tackle. And then 2, he's going to roll the hips through. And at that point, he's taking the leverage advantage away from the on the defensive lineman to help kind of make up for, him playing a little bit higher. If you can get your hands low and get into a guy's chest, that can kind of help out. The other thing I wanted to point out, as you can see right about here, he's getting all this displacement while also helping his tight end out a little bit with the nice little post arm. So kind of just speaks to the power that this dude has. And again, we'll see a clip here towards the end about him pulling. He can move. He's got some good movement skills too. Moving on to a few outside zone clips, which again, the Raiders are going to run it. He's pretty good at that too. He's pretty good at widening edges. Like a reason why I did the sideline view for this one too is like you can see like we start about midfield here, and he's going to push him to outside or right into the hash. Now running back cuts it up on the other side. And we'll see from the other end, the guard kind of gets beat a little bit. But if that back wanted to or needed to, he'd have a nice little lane, assuming the guard does his job this time. Like we'll see it from the end zone view. Same kind of thing with his hands, kind of comes up with him, gets him nice and inside, and widens him. I mean, we got that guy out of the picture there for a second. Similar rep here. Again, outside zone, get more movement. Like that was one thing that was pretty consistent. A little bit different when he's going to be playing guard, but not a whole lot of guys were setting the edge on him. I don't remember many reps where he was kind of getting stopped in his tracks when he was getting going. And this one, the running back actually does cut it through the B gap. You can see a little bit here. Like I think they had a stunt here. Mm-hmm. It's a nice hole for us to run through. We'll take that every single time. And part of it's because we're widening that edge out to the hash pretty consistently. Mm-hmm. Now, counter. This is going to be a goal line rep. Can be a nice down block for him. Same kind of thing as we saw earlier. Like same guy actually.
Yeah.
But you can see the displacement he gets. Like he's going to create a nice little lane or nice little highway here for that running back to go score. Pretty good on down blocks too. Again, like I said,
he's got some power
for sure. Yeah. Like we'll see one. I think the rep we end with puts the dude in the ground and kind of can see it a little bit here. This time he takes kind of a bad angle and gets beat off the line by Keith Randolph here, who again is going to probably be a late round pick out of Illinois. But because he has great hand placement, and this time he actually has great leverage. This time he's actually in a great position. Mm-hmm. He's able to ride Randolph in and wash him past the hash, and that creates that big lane for the running back, make one guy miss, and we're off to the races, baby. So, again, you can see a little bit what I'm talking about on the down blocks. This one is going to be him pulling on counter. So on the backside of counter, again, I think that's one area where the Kansas scheme will help him make that switch is they would pull the tackle. They'd pull him quite a bit.
Okay.
See the movement skills. Get a piece of that linebacker, put him on the ground. Again, we're off to the races, baby. Like, rewind that.
I take it Kansas won this game.
Yeah, they did. Kansas had a good year, man. They had a good team this year. I think they won this pretty handily.
Oh God, because there's these holes. Good Lord.
Yeah. They were big. All right, we got the last rep here. Again, this one will be him. I believe this is outside zone, if I remember correctly. Maybe lead zone. Either way, I actually think duo. But gonna work up to the second level here and see him kind of like the one thing I like too. Like this is actually something I think he can work on. This rep was a little bit more of an outlier. Mm-hmm. Is kind of you see him he beats the linebacker to the spot. Oops, went too far back. And then right here he starts to settle so that he makes sure he maintains his position. And then boom, we're flipping our hips, keep our feet running, finish. Like that's a nice block right there. We'll take that again every time. But yeah. See the same thing. Beats the guy to the spot, settle down a little bit, keep our feet running. He's got some vice grips too when he gets his hands on guys. So he can finish blocks too. Nasty dude who again moves well, has the strength. So I think could be a pretty good guy to pick up in that third, fourth round category. Hopefully that he'll still be around there. Has some versatility too, and I think will be a natural fit over at guard for the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, definitely somebody that I think Tom Telesco's gonna like him because his athletic profile kind of fits with what he's done historically, especially even at guard. Definitely somebody that. He's not the perfect fit, but he's a good fit. So it's somebody that Lester's gonna like, and seeing his movement skills. That's something when I watched him on film. That's why I noticed that how he's great movement skills, able to very athletic. So you can move him around and get him in the zone, and run some power and some counters. He's going to get around on that side of power really fast. I think he ran like a 5, I think, or even in the 4.9s.
Yeah, I think it was like low 5s, something like that, like 5:01 maybe, something like that. That sounds
yes.
about right.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good 40 time for him. So yeah, I think that he played center at the Senior Bowl too. So he played guard, center, and tackle. So he has a lot of versatility to him, a lot of things he can do. So definitely a day 2 lineman that I really like is Puny. It's definitely somebody they can come in and build on, and he can upgrade a little bit on this position. So I mean, it's such a great lineman class. I mean, there's just so many of these guys. The Raiders got to get one of these guys. I don't know how they're going to do it and how they're going to get a quarterback. I don't know these things. That's not my job to do that. But there's just so many great guys in this class for them to make those moves. So they got to find a way to get some of these guys. But we'll see what they do here, man. But he's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of options, just a matter of how you're going to be your plan of attack to go out and get these dudes, and obviously a lot of dominoes before that have to fall. So
yeah,
because what, a month away? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're about a month away. Basically, I mean, we're about 3 days from being a full 30 days away. What I was going to say is, I mean, if they can't get a quarterback, I mean, the thought of trading back and adding more draft picks is there. So he's never done that before, though. So I mean, I can say they're going to do that, but I mean, that thought process is there. But we'll see. Like, I mean, it's basically where we're at this point. We'll see what these guys are doing, and see what we hear. And I mean, even what we hear is probably a lie. So I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to be happening from here on out, man. So
everything's a lie. Everything you hear from now until September is a lie. Everything's a lie.
Everything's a lie. Everybody's lying here. It's lying season, is what they say.
Unless it fits your argument, then it's the truth.
Yeah, as long as it confirms your priors. If it confirms your priors, then yes. If it doesn't, then it's a lie. Exactly, man. Yeah. Exactly how it works.
We got the formula down.
Exactly. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Of course, we're gonna keep coming with the draft stuff. I got Bo Nix up on the membership, so check that out versus Utah. I'll probably mix that down and post that for everybody too. And then do some more Michael Penix, because I think the buzz for Michael Penix is going to be there even more as we get closer and closer and closer. His pro day is on Thursday. We're going to learn a lot, because North Carolina and Penix's pro day is on the same day. Ooh. Who goes where? Where the Raiders going? That's going to be interesting. Or who goes to watch Drake May, and who watches Michael Penix? That's going to be super interesting to me. All the Raiders fans are excited about the Commanders saying they're going to trade away the pick, but I don't know if that was just it's lying season. So
sure, they did say they were going to trade it away.
No, they said they're getting phone calls. That's what they said.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sure you are getting phone calls, but I mean, we're answering.
I got a phone call earlier today.
I know. I got a phone call earlier. We're getting phone calls about it. It doesn't mean that we're going to do it. And they did say in that he said usually it's 6 or 7. So I feel like they were kind of saying that we don't plan on going past 7 now. But
we'll see, man.
It's lying season though, Matt. It's lying season.
It is.
All right, guys. Once again, subscribe. We're out of here. Peace.